Welcome to the most forward-thinking, inspirational podcast in this reality. The show designed to challenge everything we've been taught. If you've ever felt there had to be more to life, more to existence, then you're listening to the right podcast. Time to open your mind and dive in. This is the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast.
And here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Happy to have you with us today. Today is August 4th. Monday, August 4th. I want to talk about something that's kind of old hat, but I've been gone for, 5 weeks. A bit of traveling, bit of concerts, bit of beaches, a bit of cottage land. Northern Ontario in the summer is absolutely heaven. So yes, the past 4 episodes have been pre-recorded, but they were fantastic episodes. I know. We liked them. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. Sometimes I do not. Sometimes I don't record for a month. I don't post anything for a month. It's been a long time since we've waited that long to post, but it does happen. These moments to reconvene, reflect. Is that even a thing? To really just hammer down either your message, your energy, your essence, whatever it is. You got to get back into it. You got to take a pause sometimes. So it's interesting when you can hammer out a huge run. I mean, when I recorded those episodes, there was lots of energy in the room. And it was fun to do it. It was fun to just knock that stuff out. There was so much to say. And then you take the break. So right now you come back, you're like, I'm a little bit rusty. Je suis un petit rusty. But this is a topic that I really like. This particular topic, right? Meow, meow. Sydney Sweeney, ladies and gentlemen. The Nazi Barbie, as she's been called. What I love about this is you're literally seeing, like, as somebody who's been canceled, as somebody who has been talked bags about, it really affects you because, again, at this stage in my life, I operate with the highest possible integrity. And I know that I do that. Therefore, I know what I'm doing. And those who don't operate with that same integrity do their best to shun and shit on you. You would be amazed at some of the stuff. And back in the day, I remember being like, oh, I don't want to offend you. I don't want this. I don't want that. And the only people who were being offended, quote unquote, the only people who were speaking out about being offended were this group of people that had nothing to do but complain. And there comes a point in time where you're like, no publicity is bad publicity. So let's get this out there. And if I'm going to operate with integrity and you're going to attack me, this is amazing because this is my opportunity to stand behind what I present. And with regards to social media, the algorithm loves it. They love the engagement. So attack all you want, but you're seeing a pushback. And for one, am enamored with it. I love it. I'm so thankful to see this shift in energy. Like, we're sick of cancel culture. We're sick of these people pushing us around. You can't put a standard white female in a pair of jeans and not face backlash. Are you fucking kidding me? This is how far we've come. This is where we're at right now in society. It makes you realize that this shit is all fake. It's all fake. It's all organized. Nobody cares. Nobody really cares. But all of a sudden, these fake accounts are like, we're outraged. We don't like this. We don't like that. And the more you understand, the more you comprehend that this is the way it's always been. It's wild. It's wild to see this stuff and be like all cancel culture for the most part is made up. Could you imagine waking up in the morning, ladies and gentlemen? Could you imagine waking up in the morning and being like, I think I'm going to use the time that I have on this earth to go and find things to be offended about. And most often than not, it's not for you. I'm not offended because of me. I'm going to use my white privilege, quote unquote. I feel like I should probably press this button.
In the news. Now.
That was the wrong button to press. Let's try this button.
Disclaimer. If you're going to soundbite any of this podcast, you must soundbite it in its entirety for consistency and context.
Well, you'd think I just had a stroke there because I pressed them. What happens if I press them all?
Disclaimer. If you're going to soundbite any of this podcast, you must soundbite it in its entirety for consistency and context.
Well, that was kind of fun. All the trinkets and trash that I've got on here that I barely even play with. Talk about overkill. Man, I'll tell you this. I'm going to use this moment to say, if you've ever wanted to get started on a podcast or anything really, don't let your gear get in the way. You can do anything. I started with a cell phone and a desire. And now I've got all this stuff that I don't even know how to use half of. But don't let it deter you from getting going. The idea of being a perfectionist gets in the way of doing a really cool job. But I digress. So we're sitting at a point in time where if you're what's the term that they use? A cis white male, cis white female, you're the devil. And like I said, it's not like I'm offended for somebody else or for myself. You often find that it's Chads or Karens that are offended on behalf of somebody else. Like, could you imagine? I mean, okay, this is the thing too. Like, I can't even. Like, I'd love to get one of these people on the phone and talk to them, be like, what are we offended about now? Why are we offended about this? And then just listen to them rattle on all of the reasons they think that they should be offended. And you realize when you have these conversations with these people aren't thinking for themselves. There's nobody upstairs. There's nobody driving the ship of that meat suit. It's just, I've been programmed to be a worrywart. I've been programmed to make life difficult for you. I've been programmed to cut my hair this way. I've been programmed to play hacky sack in the corridor. And if you're Kyle, well, you've been programmed to punch holes in drywall. Or Kyla. So I look at this stuff and I think to myself, okay, how far do we allow this to go? And Dave Chappelle said a long time ago, he goes, wait till people start pushing back. And that's what I think is happening, like right now. But it's also what was mandatory and what needed to happen. We found ourselves in a situation where it was becoming absurd, the amount of trash and tripe that's being forced down our throats for us to think about who and what we are. Am I going to be offended that Sydney Sweeney's running ads? No, I don't even bat an eye. I'm like, it's just standard par for the course. There's somebody up there on that billboard selling American Eagle jeans. Right? Or 2 years ago where they had trannies and pregnant men fucking wearing Calvin Klein. And you look at this and you're like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Right? But you're also taught that if you say that, you're the uninclusive one. And that's simply not true. I'm confused by what's up there. But again, as much as it's either just Sydney Sweeney or a pregnant dude, I don't care. I don't care. Nobody cares. The people who want to care and want to make something of it are using this identity as themselves. They're not allowing themselves to press through, become something, do anything. They are anchors designed to fuck your shit up. These people exist to mess with your minds. They don't have their own identity. And this is a direct result of NPCs. This is a direct reflection of the challenge that society is facing. Because those who do have the ability to think for themselves, the real people out there, are now taking into consideration the absurd. And to me, the reason that they would do that, or the reason that that would be an option in this simulation style, game style reality, is because it's the challenge. If you can stand by everything you truly believe in to be right, you'll be fine no matter what comes your way. And how I can back that up is simple. You put Sydney Sweeney up there, I don't care. Doesn't affect me. Do I want American Eagle jeans? No. I mean, for the most part, I buy silver jeans. I think they're comfortable. Stretch, stylish, beautiful. Do I want a pregnant dude up there? I don't care. Are pregnant men, are they buying your clothes? If they are, then that's your demographic. Use them. I don't care. But what you're seeing is they put Sydney Sweeney up there and the pregnant dude's no longer there. And guess who's up in arms? Guess who cares? Like the person that has no reason to get out of bed. The person whose only aspiration in life is to chirp. And so you're like, okay, well, this must be a real person. And this must be a real idea. Without realizing that it's got to be 50% of all accounts on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. They're all fake. They're all bot accounts. That was released back when hundreds of accounts said the same thing. Oh, my brother was a donator and no. Like hundreds of accounts said the exact same message. So we're led to believe that this is court of public opinion. And we're supposed to be okay with that. Just like the hockey players that had this the essay on in Southern Ontario. Trial went on for years, a couple of years. Hockey players lost their livelihood, couldn't play, banished by the league, still can't play. I'm not saying what they did was right. I'm not saying any of that stuff. I am saying that trial took place. These players lost something. And it's interesting that P. Diddy does what P. Diddy does, goes into court. Hundreds of people all point the finger and say this, that, and the other thing. Now, again, maybe those hundreds of people had ulterior motives. But for him to waltz in, get arrested, waltz into court, have the whole thing done in under a month or two, seems foolish, seems fishy. And at the same time, the Epstein list never existed. Seems fishy. So when you realize that everything that you're looking at, all the stuff that you're looking at, everything that you're taking in, all the stuff that you believe is the influence or that you believe is the truth or that you believe is the news, everything that we're seeing is a fabricated tale delivered to you. To what means, for what end, I don't know. I have a family member who completely denounces the things that I say. And I think to myself, you don't have the ability to think for yourself, so why would I take your words seriously? But I've witnessed him understand and comprehend as we move forward in life some of the things that I have said. And this is where you understand that some people do wake up out of the NPC. And this isn't a smash or a knock at the NPC, because we need them. We need them to make the story make sense. Imagine watching your favorite movie and the two main actors are out for dinner, and for whatever reason, there's no supporting cast. There's no backup actors. There's no background actors. There's no servers. There's no secondary actors either. There's nobody in the restaurant. Nobody to cook the meal. It doesn't make any sense. But that's what the NPCs are. And to those of you who are listening to this right now, you were once an NPC. Do you remember when you snapped awake? Do you remember when you clicked into consciousness? Most people don't. I do. I was 3 years old and I wanted to know what was for dinner. Makes sense to me. My first memory. And then I remember waking up. I understand getting past the third dimension. I understand seeing so many holes in the story that I wanted to know more. And that's where you guys are. That's where we all are right now. We're still questioning and seeking more. And we've got this Sydney Sweeney thing this is the beginning of the next stage, I firmly believe. American Eagle aired a lighthearted ad featuring Sydney Sweeney that made a pun about jeans and jeans. Critics online slammed her. She's a white supremacist, Nazi Barbie. But the majority of the public, left, center, and right, rolled their eyes, finally, and you're hearing about it. And they just moved on. Instead of hurting the brand, American Eagle stock surged after the campaign aired. The cancel culture is collapsing under its own weight. It's beautiful. Conservative voices, Trump, Cruz, Vance, they all clap back, defending Sydney and mocking the outrage mob. For the first time in a long time, the narrative didn't win. The narrative didn't win. Mob lost. And this isn't a right-wing thing. This is a people thing. Normal folks are tired of being told what's offensive when it's clearly not. The double standard too, and this is the one, like I was saying before, this is the one that really grabs me. The double standard, inclusivity. The inclusivity people are so exclusive. A growing cultural pattern. The people preaching diversity and inclusion are often deeply intolerant of anyone who's white, male, traditional, or even neutral. If you're a healthy white American male or female, you're the new villain in a culture war you didn't sign up for. We know this. We see this. That hypocrisy is becoming harder and harder and harder and harder to ignore. And people are waking up. And we all know, we've all got that one friend who was totally neutral before, but she's like, if you don't believe what I believe, or that my kid is this, then you're a fucking degenerate piece of shit, and I want you out of my life. I want nothing to do with you. I want to remove you from my essence. Oh, that's very inclusive. Well, you're one of them real smart folk, right? But these people, you realize that you're being guided, you're being pushed and shifted into whatever direction you want to be. You pay attention. I mean, cancel culture too isn't exclusive to the left. Roseanne, J.K. Rowling, Joe Rogan, canceled. Colin Kaepernick, Ellen DeGeneres. The Dixie Chicks, canceled. Mind you, there's a lot of stuff that goes into the cancellation of like the D-Gen and a few of the other ones. Like there's some pretty damning evidence that it's just gotten swept under the rug that nobody's allowed to talk about because it's just no. It'll be interesting if that stuff ever truly does come out, but you understand that we live in a society where certain things can't. People will just get removed, topics will be changed, things will be pushed back. It'll work out in the end. But there's some crazy shit. Multiple layers and levels to what it is that we're doing and watching and witnessing right now. But cancel culture's canceling itself, and it's beautiful. It's like, now we're fucking sick of it. And I remember this too. For me, I remember when they put the ban up on my Instagram account, when they put the thing up that says this account often shares false information. I got so many followers from that. Because they're like, oh, well, if we're being warned against you, that means you're onto something. And whatever happened to cancel culture in that sense, the fact checkers existed at a moment in time when they needed you to pay attention to something else. Like, it's absurd how crazy this is. Even to the other day, I posted something on my Facebook. It was an AI video of a kangaroo trying to get on a plane, an emotional support kangaroo. And it was clearly AI. And I had some random come out of nowhere and be like, you got to mark this as AI. People aren't going to know. And then they lost it on me. And they went on this huge dissertation. And then the last thing they did was block me and then state that I'd been reported. I'm like, I can't fucking believe this. Again, you wake up with integrity and you operate and you try to entertain and have a laugh with people. And it doesn't matter what you do or where you are. Somebody's going to go out there and be like, what the ever-loving hell are you doing? Am I going to bow to these people? Not anymore. Not that I ever really did. But there was a moment in time where I'm like, I need to sort of walk a fine line because I don't want to offend anybody. Truth be told, I do want to offend people. I want to offend those who cannot think for themselves. I want to offend those who are attacking good, hard-working people. I want to offend those who steal flowers off the porches of good people. That's a recent one. I want to offend every single uninclusive piece of shit out there. Is that aggressive for me to state? Maybe. But do I have the ability to stand up for those who cannot stand up for themselves? 100%. Do I need to hide behind anything? No. Do I understand that some shit in my past was probably nefarious, and if I go down this route, people are probably going to come at me and throw things at me and throw things in my face? 100%. Am I who I was last week? Unequivocally, no. Would I even want to associate with who I was 20 years ago? We wouldn't even be friends. For you to attack me for something I did 20 years ago because of something I said this week that hurt your little feelings, that's fascinating that you have to live in that past or that you have to bring this up. I had another guy make a comment. You're stealing intellectual property and you're not crediting the author. In the meme world, who knows who the original author is? I'll credit somebody if I like them, if I like their page. If I know it's authentically theirs and I've borrowed it, of course I'll credit them. But this guy comes up and just starts chirping me about not crediting some bloody page. I'm like, I don't know who the original author is of this. And so I took a quick look at his page. And he's got a video clip of Clint Eastwood, I think it was. I'm like, could you imagine going and attacking somebody about crediting something else when they've got a full-blown clip of a Clint Eastwood movie and not a single credit is given? What the hell, Batman? All right, you're going to find, ladies and gentlemen, that when you start doing stuff that challenges the norms are going to push back, but they're not real people and they don't matter. Anyone that's offended by anyone else who's operating with the purest of integrity, like if you're out there being an absolute asshole, I'm not talking about defending you. I'm talking about every single person out there, they're doing everything the way that they morally know how to do it, and they're being attacked. You're who I'm going to defend. You're who I'll stand up in front of. I'll take the bullets that a lot of people can't because I've been shit on my entire life. It's been me against the world my entire life. We stand on the precipice right now of great change. And if I have to step into a new line of purpose for this to make sense to me, to you, to everybody else, I'll do it. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is integrity. Saying your word, keeping your word. If you want to preach inclusivity and you've got a son that may be a daughter, don't shit on the people around you. Converse with them. Be a real human, not a peasant, not a regurgitating peasant. Don't be that. Don't live in the very hate that you want to shelter your children from. That is obnoxiously hypocritical. We've got so many things being revealed in this whole thing. Even Facebook. We were talking about the shadow ban earlier. They denied that forever, that they were shadow banning people. Denied. But recently, this past week or so, you're seeing people say, hey, Facebook recently updated their content rewards. They're saying, hey, we're going to expand who sees your content because you've been posting really well. But if they can expand your reach, that also means they can restrict it without telling you. That's shadow banning. And this is the first time they've basically admitted to it publicly. So if you ever felt like you were being silenced, you absolutely were. The best part about all this is the normality of it all. Humans are taking back the culture. We're not paying attention. We're voting with our dollars. I even read an article today, too, saying we're done with the outrageous house prices. $1 million for a home that shouldn't be any more than $180,000 is fucking absurd. And if nobody's buying, well, guess what? Prices are going to have to come down because they don't make any goddamn sense right now. They're not trying. They have effectively eliminated the middle class, especially in Canada. You're either poor or you've got all the money in the world, but there's very little middle class. On top of that, the middle class seniors that we're dealing with are being taxed into extinction. This is something that I will fight for as well. This plight, this atrocity against our seniors. The Sydney Sweeney story is a symbol, not just of backlash, but of blowback. People are done being gaslit into hating themselves or apologizing for being who they are. We're not playing the same or the shame game. We're not playing that anymore. We're done walking on eggshells. This moment is a new cultural reset, a return to logic, humor, and humanity. I want to sit around and make fun of my friends. I want to sit around and have a good time. I want to act again with the purest of integrity. I want to create a safe place, a safe zone. Remember when safe places were like a joke? Oh, I need a safe space. Well, ladies and gentlemen, us normal people that go to work every single day, pay our taxes, love our wives, show up, we need a safe space from every single person who's offended by everything. We need a safe space from you, the anti-human. But hey, if confusion's the name of the game, they're winning. Ladies and gentlemen, don't let this episode seem like a negative. It's an emphatic understanding that we're moving in the right direction. And if you need help, mindset, coaching, if you want to start a podcast, if you want to launch your website, if you want to launch your movement, if you want to take care of who and what you're doing, if you want to take care of your family and you do not want to be part of the system, send us an email. info@the Mental Mastery Alliance. If you want to talk to me directly about one-on-one coaching, Adam at the Mental Mastery Alliance. If you want to be part of our mailbag, info@the Mental Mastery Alliance, or send us a DM on Instagram, instagram.com/the Mental Mastery Alliance. There is, to me, an amazing amount of talent out there coming through, doing all kinds of great things. I love that we're pushing against cancel culture. I love that we're finally not allowing the illusion to take over reality. And that has happened in the past. It's time for us to be hyper-vigilant, hyper-aware, and hyper-understanding. And with an open heart and the purest of intentions, I say this. In the infamous words of Red Green, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Stay connected with us directly through the mentalmasteryalliance.com. You can also join the discussion on Instagram at instagram.com/the Mental Mastery Alliance. Let the team know you're listening by using the hashtag TMMA or tagging us at the Mental Mastery Alliance. To have your voice heard on the show, leave a voicemail or send a text to 647-338-1265. Long distance charges may apply. If you love us, leave us a review. If you hate us, you spend your time in weird ways, but also leave a review. Every review on iTunes tickles the algorithm, helping us grow. Until next time, unity over division. This concludes the most surreal portion of your day.
You got it, Pontiac.